Well, I'm glad to have met you before we came on stage, because I looked at a different Mirrors band who are touring Europe, but that's not that's not you guys. I was going to ask you about your plans for Sweden, but what's been happening with you guys before Unify? How's it been as a band with COVID and stuff? You haven't been able to play much.
I think, honestly, for us with COVID, it gave us the opportunity to write an album, man, like the one that's out now, There Goes Wait. So, it sucked, obviously, because shows stood still for 2 years, but it gave us an opportunity as a band to grow and expand, I suppose, on a new fan base, but also to our older fans as well with a new album. So, that's been incredible. So that's kept us really busy. And then, just after that now, when the shows are playing again, we've halfway through a big tour with Polaris, Alpha Wolf, Justice for the Damned. It's been unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
I was reading your bio. I'm one of the few interviewers who actually reads bios. And you talked about the fact that the lyrical themes in your music are around the fall of morality and values while seeking to take decisive action against hate, which really intrigued me. Because we're in this moment where everyone's talking about like social justice issues and like the internet's fucking on fire with big conversations. So is there anything particularly that you guys focus on when you're talking about values and morality? I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just love, being kind to one another. I guess also it talks about, love, loss, betrayal, self-doubt, and really trying to understand yourself as a person and understand your ego. But,
That's a lot. Do you want to jump in on that? I see you guys having to say.
It's centered around all that, but I think it's much more of like a sort of a personal kind of like, not so much what's going on around. This is sort of more, because that was sort of more some of the previous work. This one's a little bit more like personal. Like I don't want to speak for the other guys, but like a lot of what I read into was like personal values and things like that, such as basically just the company that you keep and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot about just evaluating, say, toxic people around you and just getting rid of them, essentially, which sounds a bit crass, but you're only as good as the people that are around you. Like there's a good saying that show me your 5 best friends and I'll show you your future. And I think there's a lot of that kind of stuff in a lot of the lyrics, and it's something that we all share as well, which is been a part of our journey as well.
Part of your journey in that you've been on journeys of like self-discovery and self-knowledge, kind of explicitly?
That, but also like just as a band, like just the 4 of us, like, like these guys have all known each other for a long time, but I grew up in the city, these guys grew up in the country, and we come from very different backgrounds, but we just, because we share, similar values and give each other strength in, just being hardworking, but also individually, but also supportive of each other and all that kind of stuff. And it's, we're seeing the results of that kind of thing. So, yeah.
I really like that you talk about we are the company that we keep, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I see sometimes people try and like, I'm going to take a break from drinking, or I'm going to try and quit smoking, or I'm going to go on a health kick. And then everyone's like, come on, mate, just have one fucking beer, mate. It's like trying to like drag that crab down who's trying to climb on the pot. Is that your experience?
Yeah, we're like somewhat boring to tour with, because we're pretty much just like, pack up straight. Like we'll hang, but we're in bed at a pretty decent hour, because like this industry's hard enough as it is, and you have to do yourself as many favors as you can, and so you have to, that time up there is nothing's more important than that when you're on tour. You're here to do a job, and like everyone here has paid really good money to be here, so we want to do the best we can for them. And if we felt like we didn't quite hit the mark because we're in a fucking K-hole all night, then that's not very fair.
If you don't know what a K-hole is, he's talking about the drug ketamine. It's a horse tranquilizer. I don't recommend you take it. Yeah.
I can't speak to that either. But just as an example, and like some people can pull that off, but we'd rather not gamble on that. We'd rather get up there knowing we did a good job because we worked hard and didn't compromise anything.
you guys obviously have an audience. Like, you have fans and people who follow you. Is living, I guess, a more conscious, healthier lifestyle like a responsibility that you've chosen?
I've always had, I felt like I've always been that way. So just due to, I think, growing up doing martial arts forever, you know, it's a discipline and something that I've learned, and it's pushed me to basically gain everything I have. You know, I couldn't be where I am. I couldn't play in the band and be the person I am. I wouldn't have the career I've got. I wouldn't be healthy if I didn't have that. So it's always been just a part of my nature. It's easy to me, you know. You know, and Paddy's the same. He's always kept fit and looked after himself. You know, Tyson as well. We'd regularly go to the gym back in Tarwin, you know, once we got to know each other through the band, I suppose. And Bren's too. So it's something, the discipline side of it, the discipline. But we still have a drink and have a good time. But having said that, we've tested the theory in the early days of, you know, it's the same result every time you wake up hungover, you know, and to try and play properly, to try to do anything when you're fucked is just is impossible. And I don't know how others do it. I honestly don't, because it's never ever worked for me. So to me, it's been easy to say, yeah, oh, well, we've got these things that we want to do, that we work for as a band, to achieve only as a band, that are hard work, that take a lot of effort, and they suck it out of you. Well, you got to help yourself. You know, you have to be, you know, so...
You're on that Dave and Goggins shit. I love that.
Oh, no. I like it, but I never listen to it, so... Yeah.
No, but you're right. What sort of martial arts have you done your whole life?
So, Taekwondo.
Yeah.
I did Taekwondo till I was about 25.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I got into kickboxing and boxing. So,
oh, right.
Yeah. Had a few fights and competed and stuff, and used to teach and still train now, but yeah, this is the priority, so...
Yeah, it's hard to balance like a fight lifestyle with a music lifestyle. It's
Absolutely.
like kind of mutually exclusive,
Yeah,
really.
no, it's one or the other, you know. Otherwise you burn out.
What led you guys to heavy music? Because for me, like, I was a kind of disaffected kid, problems at home, and when I first heard, like, Metallica when I was, like, 10 years old, it, like, resonated vibrationally. And then as I got older, I found heavier music, and then music with more political lyrics, and it really gave me a place to feel at home when I didn't feel at home anywhere else. What about you guys?
For me, I guess... I was a massive Blink-182 fan.
Yes. All the small things, dog.
Yeah.
I love that.
First day of high school, signed up for guitar lessons, and I joined a 3-piece punk band, and I guess you slowly, just progressively listen to heavier and heavier music. You know, you go through Rise Against and Bring Me the Horizon, whatever, and step up next minute, 16 years old, 15, whatever, going to Parkway shows, and sort of progressively more interested in heavier tunes, I guess.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. It just, you just hear it and it captures you. Like, I remember, I think, you know, there's a Beatles song called, you know, She's So Heavy. It's got like that, you know, really doomy outro. It's like I think it's like one of the first drop-tuned songs of all time. And I just remember like making a loop of just the outro, like just one side of a cassette for like half an hour. And then it was like eventually... Yeah, I think the first actual metal band was like Fear Factory, and like being a drummer, it's just like the whole band is a drummer. So I was just like, could not get enough of that. And I think because when bands like that also have like clean singing, it kind of eases you into it, and then it's, you know, everyone has their kind of gateway band, and then it was like Cannibal Corpse, and off you go.
Oh, Cannibal Corpse, too much for me.
Yeah.
But Fear Factory, that's fucking band.
Yeah, no,
Are they still together? I think they broke up.
The brand still exists.
Yeah,
I don't know what form of the band is still around, but I think they just put out an album, but I don't know who's actually behind it.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with bands that have been around for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, and they've had like just lawsuits and just rotating original members. So it's a bit of a dysfunctional family.
Yeah. That's probably why I like it. What about you guys? What got you into the heavy?
For me, probably Parkway Drive.
Oh yeah.
Hearing them, and like
Shout out Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Parkway
fucking
Drive.
really
bit of bleeding through.
Yeah.
and then just went from there.
Bleeding Through, Brandon Shapiti's got a full-on fitness brand now. You follow him on the gram?
I haven't followed him for a long time.
All right.
Sure.
He's got this whole thing called Rise Above Fitness out in Huntington Beach. He's like super buff, ultra healthy guy.
He was always a pretty jacked bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fully on the pump all the time. It's kind of impressive. What about you, bro?
I think for me, the earliest memory of what drew me towards heavy music was when I used to turn on Rage when I was about, I reckon, 7 or 8 on a Saturday morning.
Oh, yo.
Because that's all we had.
No
And,
cartoons.
No.
Straight to fucking Rage Against the Machine.
No, Rage, the actual channel on ABC, the music channel.
Oh, okay.
And the earlier you got up, the heavier the music.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, I turned it on and bang, there was One by Metallica.
Oh, yo.
So I was like, oh, this is insane. Like it just, drew me. And that was pretty well my love for it. I mean, I always loved growing up listening to Neil Young and things, because of my dad. But when I first heard that, I was just like, oh, that's unreal. So, yeah.
That is an unreal song. Have you heard the extended version?
I have, yes. Yeah,
Man,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It's so like emotionally evocative. And I think the sad thing, which One is like an anti-war song.
Yeah.
And like, you think about the global world situation that we're living in right now.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
No, I know, it was pretty crazy. I couldn't believe it when I heard
That's
that,
untrue. Not nothing's changed, but it's sad to come back to things like that.
It feels that way at times when you look at it and it's all happening. It's like you think, oh, they're happening again. There's another fucking war gonna start, and you're just like, come on, really? But yeah,
We need to make an anti-war playlist for the leaders of the world. What would you put on there? What did you say? Tell the people?
Black Eyed Peas, Where Is Your Love would have to be on, wouldn't it?
Maybe just like, I don't know, maybe just like a bunch of hardcore they can all just get in a pit and just sort it out, hug it out, and then that's it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like
something
just
along those
like
lines.
one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Maybe like that, just chuck on that, that Turnstile album and they can just like, just go in and get amongst it and,
What's on your anti-war playlist?
probably bit of Madball.
Oh, yo.
Yeah.
New York's finest.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yourself?
Don Broco.
I don't even know who that is, but I'm just gonna laugh.
Yeah, from the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, they're banging.
They're a banger? All right. What's next for you guys after UNIFY?
We've got to finish off this Polaris tour that we've started with Alpha Wolf and Justice for the Damned. So we've got the 2 Sydney shows at the Roundhouse, 2 Adelaide shows and a Perth show. There's also tours in the talks for later in the year, but I won't give too much away about that yet.
Oh, yo. All right. Stay posted. All right. This has been really fun. Is there anything you want to let the people know? What time are you playing today?
320.
3:20. Put it in your iCal. Make sure you get along, throw your goats. It's been a real pleasure talking with you guys. Thank you for your
Thanks for
time.
having us.
Thanks, Richie.
That's right. My
Thanks,
pleasure.
everybody. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thanks for coming down.